How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, you want to break camp healthy. Okay, that's the main goal at big league level, AAA level, any level. You'd like to be healthy. And if there's one injury we could definitely afford, it's me. So that's a good thing. And trying to get better every day. So, but in general, I think we're pretty healthy, and that's a good thing. But it was a long spring. I mean, 50 days, whatever. I told some guys yesterday. I think I've been doing this for almost 40 years, and I don't remember spring training being 50 days. So, you know, the WBC was exciting. Anybody that watched that, there's reasons for that. I understand it'll be cut back quite a bit next year, and I think we'll all be happy for that. You know, at 50 days, we'll play Syracuse and anywhere. You know, we don't care where. We just want to see a different uniform and get started. So we're looking forward to that.
You'll even play Syracuse in Syracuse.
We'll play them anywhere they want. We hope. Weather permitting.
Just initial feelings as you come into this year. Year number 3 for you. Can you just go back, since I haven't really got a chance to talk to you, the decision to come back and what drew you here again?
The variables are incredible. I mean, I love the organization. We obviously have new people in charge, and I thought that went pretty smoothly this spring. This league, this town, great. The travel is fantastic. I've said to many people, if I had a choice between doing this or anything else in the game, or not doing anything else in the game and having to manage in the Pacific Coast League, I would be out. I'd be just go fishing, or take care of my arm and then go fishing. But it's, you know, it's to me, it's a perfect spot for me to do what I'm doing with the right organization. You know, I'm not getting any younger, but I enjoy it. You're always looking for a major league job in the offseason, and that didn't come about. So I'm excited to be back. I'm happy and thankful that I was asked to come back. It's a new year every year, so we'll see. We've got, you know, a few of the people back from last year, but a lot of different folks too. So, it'll be an interesting year.
You know, and obviously, you know, when you mention the new guys, they're at the top. I would think they value your experience. You know, not only at this level and having been in the game so long, and that helps at that level. And that leads to my kind of part 2 of my question. We're all the new first-year managers, I believe, in this league. There's a lot of younger guys. So just, I mean, if you could address that.
Yeah, and younger guys, of course, everybody. I might be the senior guy. Am I the oldest guy in the league? So everybody's younger in my eyes. And some of you I saw across Atlantic. I saw some people that I know who have played for me in the past, which is always interesting. And younger in age, but not necessarily in experience in the game. Maybe in experience in managing the AAA level and so on, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you hope that your body of work for 40 years is a big part of people being interested in you coming to an organization and working for them. And you know, this organization has been so loyal and stuff to their people over the years. I was in spring training at Dan. Heck, we had 10, 15, 20, 25-year certificates from staff members that have been with an organization. My shelf life's been like 7, and then I get run out of town. So I think it's amazing, and so just to be a part of that. And again, with the new people in charge, it's a good thing. And you know, let's get ready for opening day. Everybody's looking forward to that.
But you know, with regard to the experience in handling players that are on the cusp, guys who've been up there and now they find themselves back here, it's a fine line to manage. I guess egos in some.
People will say it's the toughest level. I don't get involved in those conversations. I've heard it. You know, you can make arguments on both sides. Anybody that's handled 65 kids and extended might argue that the AAA is not the toughest level. But, you know, coming back in the 2 years I've been here, there's obviously been a ton of changes. We had 65, 70 players here last year. And, you know, it's important that we as a staff deal with it. But I have to take my hat off to the players that we've had. I mean, every one of them. Look, no one's happy about getting sent out of the big leagues. But everybody's handled it like true professionals and made my job very easy. And, you know, I think I look at this club, and we've got a bunch of guys that have been there, are here now. I would expect us to be able to contribute a great deal to the big league club when they need it. But I'm looking at a roster of, particularly from a regular standpoint, I've got 13, 14 guys that all deserve to play. And this might be the toughest year I've had, and I mix and match and do what I do. It's very likely that fans that come out to the games may not see the same lineup twice all year. I mean, you know, and that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it's going to really be something, because we've got organizational goals and things that they want to get accomplished, and then things that players are going to play well and push it from their end. So it's to start the season, it's going to be really interesting as far as that goes. But you know, we've been there, done that. It's not my first rodeo, so but ultimately it falls on us creating a good environment to play here and handle things, and then the players handling themselves the way they're supposed to.
Talking about 13, 14 guys that can be in the starting lineup, and being able to shuffle the deck any way you go and put out a solid lineup. It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have for me. Maybe not necessarily for somebody who's not going to at least start the season getting the playing time that they deserve, and we're going to talk about that as a group tomorrow. But I think we've managed to do a decent job in the past. We had we had a lot of different people that played for us last year in different situations. I think that one thing I've learned over the years, and you never know, but when you start worrying too much about things change on a dime here, and you guys know that. And you look at a roster today, and 3 days later, it's like who? Okay, there's different people. People have come and gone. There's been injuries. There's been all sorts of stuff. So sometimes these things take care of themselves, and then guys play and earn the right to take over a job or do what they do. So we will not lack for competition here, that's for sure. And normally that's a good thing too.
Initial look at the roster. I mean, there's Polka said, it speaks for itself in one particular aspect. The middle of the lineup, you got to figure you should be able to get some power production.
Yeah, I think, it's a combination, really, power, speed, and versatility defensively. I mean, we've got 4 or 5 infielders, the 4 kids in the middle especially, who are going to play all sorts of positions, a couple in the outfield maybe. We've got Paulson's a swing guy at first base and in the outfield. Haig's coming off an unbelievable year 2 years ago in Buffalo. I mean, I'm just glad he didn't come back in this league, and we have to figure out how to get him out. Things didn't go as well for him in Japan last year, but we'd love to see him if he's back to the guy he was my first year. Oh my! So there's a lot of depth. We've got the young kid. I mean, Granite comes back. Polka after half a year here, got his feet wet and looking for improvement from him. But Zach Granite will run. We've got some speed. I think our defense will be decent, and Quentin Berry brings all sorts of experience with this. So you could just go up and down and say. And again, this is maybe a good problem to have, but it's going to be difficult. The 2 catchers are both excellent, okay, and we're going to look and split time and do what we can do with that. But everybody knows there's only 1 catcher in a game, so it's those are the kind of things that we'll have to work out. But I think that the combination of power and speed, and look, everything's on paper. So these guys, we need to get out and perform, and I know these guys will give us a great effort. But let's see how it plays out, especially early in the season when things can be tough in the weather.
Basically, you're saying you got nice problems. You got nice
Yeah,
problems.
I do. Yeah, I do. And as I said, it's probably nice problems to have, but maybe not necessarily for the club. And guys may not get as much time to start the season, but as I said, these things work themselves out. So, but we hope to depth, and I haven't even talked about the pitching yet. And I think a few of the younger kids, Hurl and Schlegs, and we know what Wheels is going to bring us. He had such a good year last year, and we expect Jose, to anchor this thing. And Tep has, done a good job. So a couple of new guys in the mix, and a couple of new guys in the bullpen, and that's always fun. And it'll be a heck of a challenge for them. And but that turnover, again, last year we had so many pitchers in and out of here. And I hope, the one thing you hope is that the big league club stays healthy, plays well, and that. The movement is minimized here, but we all know that's not the reality. It can't be as much movement as last year. I don't think. As soon as I say that, it will be. But that's but that keeps these guys going as well. I mean, everybody's looking to get there, and I don't think if you've been here the last couple of years and watched the way the roster's turned over, you've got to be excited to come out and play every day. And when the phone rings, maybe it's you, and the phone usually rings a lot.
From a pitching standpoint with Barrios, I know he struggled when he went up at the end of the year last year. I know he's still got some things to work on, but were you surprised, given the rotation, what Minnesota has plans for him? Were you necessarily surprised when you got to start the year with him down here?
No, I think Derek and Thad and Paul, I think they had to come up with what their thoughts were, major league wise, with the blend of older and younger players. And I was in big league camp for a little while before the accident and then left, so I really didn't see a whole lot of what happened there performance-wise. But I think in the long run, they felt, obviously, that it was a little better for him to go get some things straightened out. there's no timeline. You know, we have a timeline. Well, boy, next year he'll be in. You know, and you maybe you evaluate and think that as coaches and managers, but the timeline is what the kids determine it to be, and people take steps back, and it's never very rarely a graph, a straight line, and those guys usually succeed and end up being all-star type players. But for the time being, there were mechanical things. I think there were enough things that he needed to work on. Look, he's got great stuff. Okay, now we just got to locate it, and we've got to get it consistent. And you know, it's a bad place to be up there if you can't locate and you're not consistent with your stuff. Those guys are pretty good, and I think he found that out. So we'll try and get him back on track. And I know that there's been hours and hours spent between the pitching people in this organization to put up a plan for him. I think he understands it. So I'll be honest with you, I've said this many times before. I'm managing, but I'm as big a fan as anybody, and I can't wait to see him in Syracuse and see where we're at with this development.